I don't know what's there right now. I'm speechless. First time y'all watch hook shots. First time.
Wait until you see who we're meeting in Atlanta. Actually, he better hurry because the next flight is boarding. Ladies and gentlemen, planing now, Vato Loco himself, Mr. Ross Robertson.
Stay tuned. It's going to get naughty.
So how is it that I end up on a plane to Pensacola, Florida with Ross Robertson? Well, you kind of have to understand the backstory. As much as it pains me to admit this, in all the years I've known Ross and have been shooting hook shots with Ross, the dude has never failed me. He has always put just this slam fest together. So the last time we were in an episode together, he said, you know what, dude?
He owed me one. And he admitted, hey, you've got to get out of jail card. Well, I was trying to get out of the Midwest when it's cold. You know, go someplace warm, fuzzy, do something I haven't done. I told you, I want something that's big, something that's going to pull. For years, we've been trying to get this thing together. I want to make sure Joe didn't get like hit by a bus or something happened. I got a call in this card.
So when my buddy Captain Chris Williams called me up and said, hey man, if you want to get into some ridiculously insane bull redfish action in a very sleeper part of Florida, you need to come down to Pensacola and fish with me in November. Naturally, the first person I called was Kerber. But when Kerber said he's too busy chartering in November to sneak away, the next logical thing to do was just put an open invitation out on Facebook for anybody who wanted to go. And when not a single person responded and said, I want in on that, I was like, damn it, I guess I gotta call Ross. Now, if you've been watching long enough, you know that I am a bull redfish junkie. Like, I am just ate up with big bulls. But there were two things about this invitation from Chris to Pensacola that really intrigued me. For one, Pensacola is on the far western tip of the Florida Panhandle, so this is not the touristy South Florida vibe. And two,
in November, the giant redfish come in from offshore and they're chasing rain minnows and big menhaden and mullet mostly. So they're up on top feeding and you catch them on big giant topwaters. And it's so unique and an experience, and it's something you'll never get to experience anywhere else. It's kind of like our little secret that we have as locals to this place.
You know, so we're heading out the first morning and Chris says, hey, this is sporty. The chop on the water means you can't see these fish. I mean, it drastically cuts down on your vision.
When it's that way, the bait really will hunker up and they'll go straight to the bottom.
You're looking for pelicans diving. You're watching that side scan like a hawk, trying to find the bait schools to keep yourself there.
Thinking it might turn on here in a minute.
Once that wind dies, really about midday that wind died down, the bait started coming up, they're a lot more active.
You know, Chris was very persistent that, you know, this bite goes from 0 to 100. And if you're like peeing, eating a sandwich or doing something, you're gonna miss this deal because you need to take that boat off at 100 miles an hour, wide open throttle, and drive over to where these fish are busting right now.
I'm on. We're all hooked up. 1, 2, 3, baby.
You know, and it just gets nuts in a flash. We're all tied into a big bull. Meantime, they are just cutting under the boat at every angle. Now, I'm pumped, right? Because this is what I wanted for Ross. I wanted to see him with a rod bent to the brink in his hands with a fish that he has got to chase around the boat.
2 scoops, no raisins.
Meeting Ross and knowing he's a walleye guy, and I'm like, all right, great, you're tugging around a wet paper towel or something. So
I don't even know what to say right now. I'm having heart palpitations. Maybe you should take that paper towel, okay? And you should wipe the drool off when you look at the walleyes that I catch.
love it.
On the snare like a predator, medical.
Now, all morning long, you had all these boats scattered around out there just kind of looking. But as that day wore on and those fish stayed up better and better, the number of boats out there was growing exponentially, and you could tell somebody had the phone chain going.
That's a high caliber donkey, brother.
You know, Chris has dialed into this. I mean, he definitely has been doing this. He knows all the players. But a lot of these guys just go out and look for the boats.
Roughly 5 years ago, there might have been 3 boats out here. But now it's like a war, man. You're playing bumper boats. There's 50 to 100 boats out there chasing the same exact set of schools that you are. And if you don't have a motor that you can crank and get there in like 30 seconds, get there, you're never going to have a shot.
But every guy on the boat is going to get one cast, they're all going to get one fish, and by the time you set that hook, there's going to be 20 other boats there throwing at them, and they're going to go down.
Any guide has good tricks, and with this one, I think the biggest one that we learned real fast with Chris is that he didn't want to be the first guy running off. If you hold back, typically them fish are going to surface back where you were or another little pack off that you've got to yourself.
And several times that afternoon, that's exactly what happened. And as the sun got lower and lower, these fish just moved shallower and shallower till at one point he said, look towards the shoreline and it is just a tidal wave of copper and busting water rolling right at us.
You watch these reds, they'll load up on top of the bait. There'll be 10 of them just riding the top of the bait. It's just crazy fun.
Beast on a tuna popper. I'm on.
I don't care how much you fish or what you do. When you see these giant bulls look like torpedoes coming at your boat and they're everywhere, I mean, it is absolute insanity. If this doesn't fire you up, I don't know what to tell you. I can't even talk right now.
Piling on top of one another to eat that popper.
It's unbelievably unique to watch. Once they're here and they're in the bay, they'll eat anything, man. You can throw a beer koozie out, they're gonna eat it.
Crushing the top water.
And by the time that first day ended, we had probably put 20 bulls in the boat between jigging and throwing those big poppers. And it was truly one of the most epic redfish bites I had ever been on.
What's up, everybody? Since I didn't get to go red fishing, and it is the holiday season, I guess I'll just go to the mall and do some shopping. You know, sadly, malls are a dying breed. But if you need some stocking stuffer ideas for the anglers on your list, here are EK's picks for the 3 old school lures that'll never go out of style. Because what else are you gonna do? Buy somebody a beer bong from Spencer Gifts? The Arbogast Hula Popper's been around since your great-grandpappy's been fishing. And there's always one in EK's box because those classic rubber tassels still crush largemouth. Whether you're throwing bombs to salt or freshwater stripers, you can't beat the original Atom Popper. They fly a mile and they're about indestructible. And from trout to smallies, I know there's a lot of new stick baits on the market, but give me the original jointed Rebel minnow. I've been fishing these since long before you bought your first cassette tape at the wall. $15, little man, put that in my hand.
You know what today is? Today's fly fishing day. Okay, now in fairness to me, I refrained the entire first day from building my fly rod. And any of you who know me know that that was just killing me. But day 2, I'm like, no. I'm getting mine on the fly today.
Well, secretly, I admire his trying to master all different techniques. I don't want anything to do with fly rod.
The fish popped up about the same time again, roughly 1:30, and we had that one quest to get a fish on a long rod, and it's an entirely new set of challenges. We've got to get super close to the fish. We've got to be able to be stealthy.
All of a sudden, he almost throws me on the bow. He hits the throttle so hard. We jump over to this pod that's just boiling.
Well, I mean, I don't want to get like sappy, and I hate the fly rod, but it's neat to see a totally different deal and dialed in like that.
Yeah, dude. Oh, I wanted that one so bad. Now, unfortunately, I'm gonna need to do that again. But I'm just so happy that I got the one.
Redefine the event horizon.
Did you get it? Yep. So as the day progressed, the bite got better and better and better.
Little green, 3 feet of line out at the boat. Okay. You cannot imagine what it's like. You look around and that you take the blinders off and there are boats, literally I could underhand a lure into it and everybody's hooked up. And here's bulls just reds, they're running right between the boat. I'm already on.
And the getting was so good that later in the day I was like, screw you guys, I'm busting out the fly rod again. And I just happened to have it in my hands when like 30 of them came up frothing whitewater right next to us. I have never seen so many big fish behind a fly of mine in my life.
He's got it. Yes, sir.
And when we finally get that fish in the boat, I was like, damn.
Look at that monster. Look at that monster. Whoa.
That's the biggest redfish I ever caught on a fly rod.
8 fish this size at a time going after that fly. Stop the heart.
It's pandemonium. How crazy it is, but it is literally what makes me wake up every day. I cannot stress that enough. We had an amazing week. We busted each other's balls constantly, It's amazing how quick you can make friends, especially when you can give them crap and they give it right back and you laugh and high five.
I ain't sure if I won or I lost. I really ain't. You know, I mean, this was great. I mean, obviously, I think you could probably fish redfish another 30 or 40 times and not catch the type of fish and go through them like we did. But Joe was already like, hey, is my debt paid? I mean, I think that we've paid off a good portion of it.
Man, debt is 100% paid.
Debt paid, let's be honest, y'all watched. I'm a rabbit's foot.
Cue the debt paid.
The snake unhinges his jaw, swapping spit
Looks like a pot of gold. I'm a little leprechaun digger.
Oh God, you're ridiculous.
with Philistines in a
Does that one got the juice, bro?
If it did, I wouldn't give a shit.